So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another zombies video on the channel, where today we are back with a zombies Q&A. I'm sure you guys know by now the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you enjoy the video today, a like rating would be appreciated. Could we shoot for 2,000 likes maybe? I don't know. I haven't done a like goal in a very long time, so I'll leave that one down to you guys. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos, but let's get into it. Here we go. Enjoy. Anyway, the first question of today is from Ben Hammond, and you say, can you explain how Great War Richtofen got to Blood of the Dead? Now, I did explain this in my entire zombie storyline video. If you haven't checked it out, it is an hour long, but it does tell you every single detail on the zombie storyline, so if you're interested, I will link it down in the description. But of course, a lot of people won't want to listen to a 1 hour long video, and this was only recently revealed to us in Tag der Toten, so if you haven't played that map or you haven't been keeping up to date with the storyline towards the end of Zombies, then maybe you won't know this, because we first saw Great War Richtofen back in Blood of the Dead. In the end of that Easter egg, we discover that he is in Richtofen's lab in a cryopod where we thaw him out, and then minutes later we see him step out of the thawed cryopod with the fire crystal in his hand, where he uses it to help Primus and Ultimus banish the evil from Alcatraz. And as we saw from the ending, he then hands the Chronorium over to Nikolai, making him in charge, destroys the blood vials, and they go on their separate ways. So your question is, how exactly did Great War Richtofen get to Blood of the Dead in the first place? Because he is from the 1300s. That is when the Great War happened, and Blood of the Dead takes place in the 1940s. There is over a 600-year gap between these two events. Well, the audio reels from Pablo Marinis and Tag der Toten tell us exactly how Great War Richtofen got to Blood of the Dead. We know in Tag der Toten, Pablo is the hermit living in the lighthouse. Of course, we've heard about him in previous maps such as Der Eisendrache and the original Call of the Dead, but in Tag der Toten in this universe, as part of the broken cycle, Pablo never died as he did before, and instead has been living in the lighthouse as a hermit since the 1940s, where he has been having dreams of the Great War.
In my dreams of this Great War, I meet a German doctor. Oddly, he reminds me of the man who once tormented me, but his face is different. When I meet him, he is angry and frustrated. He mentions a man named Dr. Monty, saying he is to blame. This German doctor, he says he believed following Monty's plan would lead them to secure a better tomorrow. This was a lie, he says. This Dr. Monty, he sent the four to the Great War. It was at this moment the German doctor said he realized the truth. Coming to the Great War did not break the cycle. It was merely the end of their loop. We will die here, he says. Then we will be reborn again. And when it is time, we will meet once more in northern France, continuing this never-ending loop. I wonder, he says, how many times have I been to the Great War? How many times have I perpetuated this endless cycle? I'm tired, he says. I have been trying so very hard to do the right thing. But for all his efforts, he had only fulfilled the prophecy of this cycle. He and Dr. Monty had forged the endless loop.
So after having these constant visions, these dreams of going back to the Great War, Pablo comes across Primus, specifically in this instance Richtofen, where he says he was angry and frustrated. Richtofen had finally realised what was going on. He now knew that Monty's plan to secure a better tomorrow was a lie, and that sending the four back to the Great War didn't actually break the cycle, it was merely the end of their loop. Primus would die here and then be reborn again, where they would meet up back in northern France. Origins. And this was the point when Pablo finally realised his true purpose, why he was trapped on this rock in the lighthouse. These visions of him being sent back to the Great War weren't just there for him to witness what happened, but he was supposed to be the one to help Richtofen break the cycle.
Day 4721. I think I understand. I know why I am here, why I'm trapped on this rock. why I have these dreams, these visions, why I must get to this great war, and what purpose I am to serve in this cataclysmic event of the ages. I am not being sent just to witness what happened, but it is I who helps the Doctor break his cycle. Near the end of the Great War, when all hope is nearly lost, I protect him while he activates a device, a teleportation mechanism. I hold back the undead as he powers it up. I give him the moment he needs to escape his fate. I ask him, where will you go? He says, there is a prison I must travel to. Hopefully, I can intercept our friends before it is too late. Before he goes, I give him the elemental gem from the Staff of Fire. I had seen it used to vanquish great evil. He once used it to save my life. Perhaps it will serve him well on his new path. This is why I am here. It is no coincidence that I have also been left with the plans for the Agarthan device. That is how I get to the Great War. I'll need some help. But in my visions, I have seen that I will have help soon. For now, I must bide my time. For my time is coming.
So that tells us how Great War Richtofen got to Blood of the Dead. Pablo, after having these visions of him for such a long time in the Great War, finally realised his true purpose. These weren't just visions for him to witness what happened, but actually they were telling him he is the one who needs to help Dr. Richtofen break the cycle. But first, he needed to get there, and so as we see in the end of Tag der Toten, when Victus arrive here, they help Pablo build the Agarthan device, and right at the end, just before the cutscene, once it's built, Pablo uses it to open up a portal in the sky, where he leaves the lighthouse and travels back to the Great War. When there, he meets up with Dr. Richtofen, where he helps him break the cycle by protecting him from the zombies, whilst Richtofen activates a teleportation mechanism, where he then steps in and uses it to teleport to Blood of the Dead, where he waits there in cryostasis until Primus arrive so they can break the cycle. And of course, as we heard in the radio, just before Richtofen left the Great War, Pablo gave him the elemental gem from the Fire Staff, which explains why he has it later on. So it's all one big cycle. At the end of Tag der Toten, Pablo teleports back to the Great War, where he helps Richtofen escape. Richtofen then travels to Blood of the Dead, where when Primus arrived there, he steps out of his cryopod, uses the elemental gem to banish the evil from Alcatraz, and finally break the cycle. So there we go. The next question says, can you explain the cyborg zombies that MAXIS made? So we don't really know too much about them, how they were made. We do know, as you say, they were made by MAXIS. They can be found in the Empty Earth, or specifically Zero Base. We know that the Empty Earth is a dimension, and inside of it, a version of MAXIS constructed Zero Base, a facility that he made to house artifacts and replicas collected from a multitude of different timelines. And among the artifacts MAXIS collected here was the Chronorium. However, because of its power, if it ever got into the wrong hands, in order to protect it, MAXIS put in various different countermeasures. We know one of them was a machine where you could only access the facility by giving your blood, so it could check if you possessed a soul. And another one of MAXIS's countermeasures was these cyborg zombies. He built these to protect the Chronorium, so if anyone was to ever touch it, they would awaken, attack, and hopefully destroy whoever touched it. These cyborg robots built by MAXIS were placed all around the facility. As we know, when Victus arrived here to retrieve the Chronorium for Richtofen, the robot zombies awoke and began to attack them. Luckily for Victus, they managed to escape. But how exactly MAXIS managed to control them is a little bit of a strange one. Obviously, they are not full robots, they are kind of like half and half. They all seem to be different as well. Some of them have full metal masks, with one their usual colour eye, blue or yellow, and the other one green. Also, they seem to be a lot bigger and taller than the usual zombie. As you would imagine, being half robot, they are a lot stronger as well. Their sole purpose was to destroy. Surely MAXIS, if he wanted, could have used regular zombies to protect the facility. But as you could see from these zombies comics, the cyborg zombies that he built are a lot superior. But yeah, these cyborg robots were built by MAXIS to protect the Canorium in Zero Base. Exactly how he made them, we don't 100% know. Also, the date, we don't know that either. Possibly it could have been around the 1940s when Group 935 were able to control the zombies. And I do have to say, I would absolutely love to play against these in the game. Maybe in a future map, if we ever see Victus again in, let's say, the Dark Ether. If we got to play a map where they went to Zero Base, coming up against these cyborg zombies, you know, bigger, taller, stronger than regular zombies, it'd definitely be interesting and something I would like to see, so there we go. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.